Hi guys, it's Jamila here from Slap. How's it going? How's it going? Hi guys, it's Jamila here from Slap. How's it going? Today I'm going to be doing something very different. I'm going to be doing just an eye look. I've concealed the bottom half of my face because I can't do under eye because it's an eye look. It's basically a super black, jet black eye, which is doing my signature look. But I can't put anything under my eye because I'm gonna need to wipe them off. When I was at uni, this is kind of the look I did every time I went out. Like, I didn't do anything else. I just did one eye look, that was it. Before the gold shadow, before the orange shadow, before the burgundy shadow, there was black. Which is why my eyelids are actually black, and why I have to put eyeshadow primer on. I never really used to use it in the past, and I used to just put jet black eyeshadows, eyeliners, everything on my face all the time, and that's why I've got black eyelids. I wasn't born with black eyelids. So I don't know why I sound so croaky. Obviously I've done a bit of spot concealing in the bottom of my face, but nothing at the top, just a bit of eyeshadow base. So I'm gonna quickly try and blend that in as best I can. It's a bit kind of stuck. I didn't really think this through. So I basically just do loads of eyeliner. And then I used to have 2 sticks actually. Annoyingly, I did a declutter when I was moving out of my last flat because my brother guilted me. He said I was a hoarder and I needed to sort my life out. So I threw the black one of this away. But these are the by Terry Ombre Black Star sticks. And they were literally like my go-to. So this is the kind of champagne one, which it's not champagne at all. It's actually really gunmetal. Kind of gunmetal gold silver. And then there used to be a black one, so I used to kind of put this all over my eyes and then go in with the black one and then kind of blend it and then layer and layer and layer. But I don't have the black one anymore, and I was gonna buy it, but I wanted to try and do one makeup tutorial where I hadn't bought anything new, so that you guys could also be inspired to just use what you have, even if it's not perfect. And sometimes you kind of figure out that certain products are really good because you've never used them before in that way. So I just thought I'd leave it. I wouldn't buy anything. So I'm basically using blacks from other eyeshadow palettes. I think mainly I'm going to use the Soft Glam from Anastasia, Beverly Hills. And I'm going to use the ASOS eyeliner in, it's really cheap, I really like it, and it kind of has its own little twist up system, which just makes life easier. And also the Marc Jacobs, because it's like a really nice jet black. The only thing I find with this is it gets blunt really quickly, and I'm used to like proper pencils where you can sharpen them and then they can be like smudgy, but like not this kind of smudgy. So I have the Glow and Ray pencil. This is the Glow and Ray Skybreaker Long Lasting Silky Eye Pencil. I'm going to start with that. And this is quite weird because it's like the beginning of September, so it's actually quite light outside. It feels like too early in the year to be doing this, but hey. I just had to have a week off from foundation, like I couldn't do any more foundation. Okay, so now I'm going to go up inside the rim here. And I tend to go all the way out and then I kind of go up with it. So I start doing a flick inside the top of my waterline. Is it the waterline? Inside the top of my lash line. So I kind of just do that. Oops, don't put yourself in there. And I'm gonna do it on the other side. And then you go up. Okay, so I've done the inside. Then what I normally do is I go over the top of my lash line. And this you can be quite messy because you're technically gonna go over it anyway. You're gonna start to go over it with shadows and things like that. And I've never done this with eyeshadow primer on ever in my life. And it's making my life a lot harder. But the reason you have to go really close to the lash line is you want it to look really dense, really full. You don't want to see like any gap. And because of my eye shape, because I've got quite a round eye shape, I always have to go up. A lady in Sephora France taught me that when I was like 18, and I've always done it since, and it's made such a difference. This primer is doing my nothing. Okay, so I've gone up a bit. I feel like I've missed eye looks like this, like dark eyeliner and eyeshadow. I might go in with a bit of the ASOS just to be different. I'll see if that's a bit more silky on top because the eyeshadow primer is kind of messing up my vibe. Problem with the eyeshadow primer is it makes things very sticky and hard to move, which is great for an eyeshadow, but not great if you're trying to do a smudgy eye look. So lastly, I'm gonna go in with the Marc Jacobs, and I'm gonna start to take that on top of my lid. So this is the Marc Jacobs Eyeliner Gel Liner Pen. And I'm gonna do another layer inside my eye as well. Now, after I've done inside the waterline, I tend to go under. And if you are either a goth or emo, you will know how to do this really well. And I went through like an emo gothy stage for like 2 weeks. I started listening to like, what did I listen to? Not Slipknot, but it was like quite similar. It was really fun. Me and my friend like literally just went really deep into like the emo kid phase, but it didn't last very long. The top lid is a lot easier to do, but this eyeshadow primer was not the right thing to do. If you can afford not to use an eyeshadow primer, I would not use an eyeshadow primer. I'm just trying to smudge out this black a bit, but I accidentally put a bit of eyeshadow on it, but it doesn't really matter. If you want to create a bit of depth with your eyeliner, I used to use like different color bases. So I used to use like a silver, although that kind of looks very ashy on me, or like a green, like a dark green was one of my favorites, or kind of like a dark blue. Anything you find that's kind of metallic and adds depth. I think nowadays I probably would go for like a bronze brownie gold. So I'm gonna do that with the, what's the name? Anastasia Beverly Hills. I'm gonna go in with bronze from the Soft Glam, because it's quite a rich gold. And also having this might kind of break down that eyeshadow primer a bit. And you don't want to necessarily put too much on. You just want to put enough shadow for wherever you're going to put black. So I'm going in with Noir from the Anastasia Beverly Hills. And you're always gonna get fallout, so there's just no point even putting concealer on. I know it doesn't look as cute without concealer on underneath right now, but it's just not worth it. And then you can start to create your shape. I like going like super pandery, but you can keep it a lot sleeker if you want to. And the trick is to just kind of press so you get like a lot of pigment at the beginning. Good old Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam, thank you. And it is a heavy look, but it's a look that really does last all night. Like, there were times I'd come back and I'd literally have had like the wildest party night, and I'd come home and I still have my eyes on. Which, you know, isn't necessarily always how you want to live, and I'm not a student anymore, so I probably wouldn't do it as intensely, but I just like really miss doing this kind of black, jet black eye. And it just looks really nice in photos. Your eyes just look really kind of the center of your face. So that's it with the eyeshadow. I'm gonna go in with a bit more eyeliner now. This is where you really want to create a bit of balance. I've actually got to go somewhere after this. People are going to think I'm mad. And what I like to do is then go over the lid with an eyeliner. If you've got like an eyeshadow pen, this would be the time to use it. But obviously I tucked mine away, so I don't have it anymore. I'm going to quickly wipe my face with the Pixie Makeup Melting Cleansing Cloth, which I don't normally use wipes, but when it comes to this kind of look, you really do need to have a wipe or cotton pad or something nearby. Handy, handy, handy. So this is when you can take away everything you don't want as a final look. Ooh. And you can also use it to tidy as well. if you've got a bit OTT. The reason I used to use the two different by Terry sticks is because I wanted to have that glitter underneath, because it just adds a bit of sparkle. I haven't got that with this one, but that's also a really nice way of giving your face a bit of dimension. This is like the third time I've put primer on. This does look very grown up, doesn't it? I look very grown up. I've done my brows. Well, I kind of filled them in and one of the brow things broke. Damn you, NARS. I'm gonna quickly do a bit of concealer. I've never done this so quickly in my life, but because obviously I've done it so many times in my life, I kind of know what I'm doing by now, hopefully. This is the Makeup Forever concealer in 52. It's not my favorite, but it's the first one I picked up. And when you've got your kind of base on, then you really start to see it pop, because your skin's a bit more kind of satiny and a bit more polished, and then you really see it kind of stand out. I'm gonna go in with the Giorgio Armani Power Fabric Foundation. It's got an SPF 25 in it. It's in the shade 1175. I really like it. I feel like it gives my skin a really nice kind of perfect look, but not being as kind of flawless as Charlotte Tilbury, because that is like super flawless. It's like OTT flawless. So I'm just popping a bit of this on. And it does. This is what I would do for a night out. I think I'd use this foundation. It's a really nice foundation. And my skin tone hasn't quite gone back to my kind of lightest version of my skin tone, so just about get away with this now. With this foundation, I don't really have to use much. Like a couple of pumps is all I need. I don't have to kind of go back in and pump again. Oh, it's so nice. Bloody hell. Okay. It does smell a bit weird though. It smells a bit chemically. I'm going to powder with a mixture of two of my favorite powders. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent Medium Deep. You know I love it. Also, I'm going to use a bit of the Pat McGrath just because it's quite brightening. And I think together they're actually quite amazing. Also, I don't like to use too much of the Pat McGrath because it's expensive. The Laura Mercier one first, because firstly it's like more like my skin tone. It's not like yellow or red, it's just neutral. Also, I find it really does kind of block me and oil control me more than anything else. If we're gonna do this properly, I'm gonna do a bit of snatchness. No, snatchness. If you're going like super winter, like I've got my thigh-high boots on, you need bronzer. The only thing about this eye look and this kind of bronze look is I have to try and keep the lips to a minimum. Also just take down some of this bronzer bit because I went a bit hard. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna quickly go back in now with some liquid eyeliner, a bit of lip liner, and a bit of eyebrow gel. So this is MAC Chestnut Obs. If you want it to be a bit lighter, you can go in with kind of a lighter lip liner. For example, I might go in with the Charlotte Tilbury Too Light For Me Iconic Nude. In this kind of case, it could be quite helpful because it just kind of will lighten this up and give it more of a 90s Aaliyah video feel. That's why I try not to chuck stuff away, because even though I do seem like a hoarder, things will always have a use. Like you can ombre it or you could do something else. Like I would never wear this on its own. But in this case, it's actually helpful. Pat McGrath liner in Perm Precision liquid liner in black. And this I'm gonna go all across the top of my lid. And the great thing about this, and this is how I kind of learned how to do an eyeliner wing, is that it doesn't matter how messy you are because no one can tell. And if you use the Benefit matte one, then really no one can tell. You can use any eyeliner you want, so if you want to use gel, liquid, that's totally up to you. I just prefer liquid. Lastly, I'm going to finish with mascara, and I'm going to use a mixture of the Pat McGrath and the Marc Jacobs, my two favourites. And you can kind of keep layering this eyeshadow if you want to, but I'm not going to because I genuinely have less than 5 minutes. But if you want to. Actually, I'm not going to use the Marc Jacobs after all. I'm just going to keep the Pat because it's doing a good job. And everything broke. I'm actually going to leave my lips like this. I'm not going to put anything else on them. And I was going to do a bit of blusher. I kind of did this look before highlight became a thing. So I don't really know where to put it. As I don't really want to do highlighter, I'm going to use my most minimal highlighter, which is the MAC Glow with the Extra Dimension. And I'm just going to do that across the bridge of my nose. Didn't really need to do it. So guys, this is the kind of look that made me fall in love with makeup. I just love how kind of smoky and rich it is and how you've just got one focus. Hey guys, that is my finished look. I hope you liked it. This is a journey into old jam. This is what I used to wear when I went out. I used to wear like skinny jeans, a black top, big black eyes, hair. And that was pretty much it. If you think this is way too much for you and you're like, oh my god, what has she done? She used to have like nice brown chill looks. This could be really good for Halloween if it's too much for you. But I do really like this look. I think it's kind of a classic, and I feel like this winter a lot more people are going to be wanting kind of tigery eyes. I'm kind of channeling a panda, but I kind of like it. Hopefully you guys like this look, and leave your comments down below. I'd love to know what you think. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.